Your name, sir?
I'm Max Obraszewski, and I'm with the Pledge of Resistance, Baltimore.
Now, Max, what's going on tonight? We're down here in Mount Vernon Square.
Yes, we've been doing a First Thursday protest against the wars. I would guess we started in '05, so we come here every First Thursday. It just so happens today is a very lively day because they're going to launch the lighting of the Washington Monument.
I'm just going to pan around and look at that, Max.
Sure. I personally like the lighting of the monument. A lot of families are coming by, a lot of people are getting into the holiday spirit, and we're here just to speak out against people being killed. Earlier we were talking about rec centers being closed in Baltimore. All the money that's wasted on war is desperately needed here in Baltimore, whether it's water mains breaking, 100-year-old pipes are breaking in Baltimore. It's almost on a weekly basis. Some main avenue, whether it's Charles Street or York Road, is closed because water main break. So we are these voices in the wilderness.
Now, Max, the Afghan war is still going on.
Sadly, if you see the woman that's out there directing traffic, she told us earlier her son just missed going over there. Her son's in the military. Fortunately, he did not have to go over there. This is an endless war. It's the longest war in U.S. history. And right now, there are still 68,000 troops in Afghanistan. And the costs of keeping those there for, say, another year, we're talking about $60–70 billion. And this is all unfunded. Forget about the fiscal cliff. They do these wars off budget, which I don't comprehend. I don't understand. So what?
Well, the last time in Iraq, they borrowed it from China. And the
go.
bill, according to one esteemed economist, is $3 trillion plus.
Yep. It's amazing with all of the problems we have in our cities and states. I mean, I heard Chris Hedges on the radio. He's got a book out now called National Sacrifice Zones. Now, where did he start? He started in this conversation in Camden, New Jersey. Poorest city in the country. I've been to Camden. I know people that are working there. And Baltimore's not far behind. We're probably in the top 10. We have our problems right here. Why in the world are we still trying to be an empire? Unless we get rid of this empire, we're never going to solve our problems. I emailed somebody today. She's trying to work with the youth of Baltimore, the poor people, the people that are out in the cold. And I said, we're never going to solve the problem of poverty in Baltimore unless we deal with military spending. Unless we cut back on military spending, good luck. We're going to still have all our problems. Fund Our Communities, one of the groups that we're affiliated with, we're talking about doing a caravan for peace, starting in Baltimore, going to Montgomery County, going to Prince George's County, going to Washington to call for a 25% cut in military spending. Barney Frank, others, Dennis Kucinich, Barbara Lee, people are talking about this, but can we get our politicians to actually do it? That's the issue. We're going to do our best. We'll probably go to places like healthcare for the homeless. We'll probably go places where funding is cut back. I used to work for the American Friends Service Committee. They had to close the building in Baltimore and move to a small space in the Clipper Mill because of funding cutbacks. This here, quote-unquote, recession has been devastating for nonprofit groups around the country. All kinds of groups that are suffering because of this. And unless people speak out, unless people get out into the streets, it's only going to get worse.
You know, Max, it seems like history might repeat itself. The Iraq War was all about those phony weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
And now they're leveling that same charge at Syria. And when you hear these neocons, like I think it's John Bolton, he's beating the drums, it could happen again.
I think this is only my opinion. I don't think the United States is going to go into Syria. I mean, they're obviously involved, supplying weapons, etc., etc. I think they learned something from Libya. I'm reading the tea leaves. I'm far from a great prognosticator, but I'm reading the tea leaves, and I think they saw what happened in Libya. They're not going to do it again in Syria. That's my opinion. We'll see what happens.
Anything else, Max?
The last thing I will say, I appreciate you coming out and speaking with us and witnessing to this small demonstration. If only we could get more and more people to come out, we could actually get some positive social change. That's the issue. How do we get the
Well, you've had some victories this year. You had the victories on the quality, equal equality in marriage. That was a big
great
victory.
Yes.
And
great victory. The Dream Act.
The Dream Act was another victory.
Right.
So there's payoffs down the line here. It's a long time coming.
Well, some of us are already gearing up for Annapolis. We have to repeal the death penalty in Maryland. That's one of the issues we're going to be working on very, very hard this year. The NAACP is doing great work. Ben Jealous has been doing a great job speaking out on behalf of the Dream Act, speaking out on behalf of marriage equality, and now taking the lead on ridding Maryland and eventually the whole country of the death penalty. So yes, we've had some victories. Let's keep rolling. Let's keep working hard.
Okay, thanks, Max.
You're welcome, Bill.
Your name?
Sharon Black.
And Sharon, why are you here tonight?
Well, I'm here basically to support the Pledge of Resistance efforts to raise the issue against the wars that are still being waged, around Gaza, number one, also around the issue of Bradley Manning. I think what they're doing is very important. A lot of times people forget that war is still being waged and occupations are still continuing around the world. I mean, most of my work has been geared on the community level, demanding jobs and education, fighting against police brutality. I think the issue, the anti-war movement is very linked to it. The issues of opposing wars and occupations are linked to it. Trillions of dollars are being spent by the Pentagon to continue these awful, outrageous occupations and wars, and the drone attacks that are taking place in Pakistan and around the world. And you have to link it to what's happening here. Those trillions of dollars could be spent for the youth right here in Baltimore City.
It's amazing, isn't it? Billions, trillions wasted, and all the problems we have in the city here, in Camden, New Jersey. Detroit's fallen for bankruptcy, Stockton, California, and yet for some reason the Congress goes on funding these wars.
Yeah, I mean, and it's problematic because there's been so many complex problems that in a way this is hidden from people's view. It's not like I come out of the Vietnam War era where people were very acutely aware because people were coming back in body bags.
And they were getting drafted.
Right. People are still coming back, but they're named in different ways with post-stress disorder, all sorts of other things, coming back with missing limbs. But it's sort of spread out and it's not as much on people's consciousness. So a lot of other problems, the question of jobs and stuff become big, but it's linked. It's linked. And so as much as myself, I'm spread thin, I thought it was important on this evening to at least stand with the sisters and brothers who've been fighting around the anti-war movement for some time in this city and to lend my support tonight.
Anything else, Sharon?
No.
Okay, well, thanks so much.
Thank you.